Okay, so welcome to Parker Automotive. Today, this is an '08 Toyota Camry. Um, Originally, it came in for a mass airflow sensor. It's right here. Now let me turn these lights on. So, originally it came in with a PO 171 and a PO 101. The reason why I did a video on this is because it's a complicated fix. The mass airflow sensor was bad. I changed the mass airflow. The P171 sometimes can be caused by a mass airflow. So in that process, I put a new air filter, cleaned the throttle body, which the throttle body was dragging a little bit, but there wasn't really, there was a dropout. Your accelerator pedal position 1 and 2, there was a slight dropout, but I don't know if it was because it was dirty. I cleaned it, it didn't return. I also did a fuel injection cleaning using the fuel injection cleaner, R-Clean. I also did a topical, which was kind of like a sea foam, just through the intake. My O2s did not recover after that. It's running real lean. I did smoke test the vehicle originally, and I couldn't find any leaks. I did do check the injectors, because if you got a stuck injector, that can also cause a lean code. They seem to be okay. What else? Oh, it also had a crank seal leak. Comment on these. I replaced that. No more leak. Anyway, that coming into it, I checked the fuel pressure. Now, originally the fuel pressure when it came in, it's 44 to 50 is what they give you as a spec. It was originally around 46, so that showed good. Tested it yesterday and I got about 44, so I'm right on the bare minimum. So it could be needing. Well, no, it does need a fuel pump. It's failing. What I do is I pump it up, or I prime it using the tool, and then I see how long it takes for the pressure to drop. There's a pressure regulator inside on the gas pump, on the fuel pump itself. So it is dropping quicker than it should. Anyway, I came in early today. I had the customer leave the car last night, come in, and in the morning time, this is my Smoke Pro. I actually have it hooked up right now, and it's hard to tell, but it is leaking at the intake. So I had to make sure this vehicle dropped below a certain temperature so that it could free it up. And now I find that it's leaking at the intake manifold on this side. Now I did notice that somebody put a starter in there recently. Sometimes what happens is, because of how difficult it is to get to it from the bottom, once you take out the cover and all that stuff and you pull it out, the fan shroud. Some people I've seen take the whole intake manifold off, do it and then put it back in. Sometimes they don't reuse, they reuse the old gas that you can't do it. The vehicle's an '08. That being said, I came in this morning and I wish I could get it on video. I can see it leaking. I just can't tell exactly where it's leaking from. This is for technicians who come in and they got this code and they can't they can't figure it out. Instead of just replacing parts, like I tested the heaters and the air fuel meter, which is the upstream, and the O2 sensor. They are moving slow. The bad part about it is when you got a vacuum leak, you can't tell if they're actually moving slow because there's a lean condition, or if it's just an aging O2. It is an '08. So before I replaced all them, I did do the testing on it. And like I said, I found fuel pressure low. I also just found that the intake manifold is leaking. Now it's either cracked. The way that this is set up, it's right in front of that that starter. If somebody pulled on it to move the, give it a little bit of room to get the starter out, or if they took it off, that could be our whole problem. It could just need a gasket, or it could need the whole deal. When these come off, you do pull the fuel rail, so it's just better to put all new O-rings on there, up and down, just to make sure that there's not no leaking going on in there, because what I'll have to do is I'll have to have the car overnight again, do the intake manifold, wait for everything to cool down, because I will have to run it to make sure the O2s are acting correctly. And that's the problem. I'm not here to teach you how to fix it, I'm trying to give you those quick hits. It may have aging O2 sensors. It does have low fuel pressure. It does have an intake manifold gasket leak. It did have a PO101, which is a mass airflow sensor. After the mass airflow sensor and the injection cleaning was taken care of, the mass airflow sensor code never returned, but the P171 did. The values are skyrocketed on there, but it's not moving. My long-term and short-term fuel trim is barely budging and it's staying real lean. So most likely it's a combination: aging O2 sensors, low fuel pressure, and a leaky gasket around the intake manifold. So that we get it straight. Sometimes you'll fix things on a vehicle and you'll do everything: the injection cleaning, and the throttle body cleaning, the new mass airflow, and then an additional cleaning, which would try to help kind of clean the intake valves. It wasn't successful. And the only reason why I did those is because the O2 sensors didn't test the resistance on the heaters were okay. Usually if the heater's okay, at least 50% of the time so is the O2. Now, I did scope them and they're moving real slow, so they could just be aged. They looks like they've never been replaced. And I'm not trying to teach you, I'm trying to give you an indication. These are all the things that you gotta test. You can't just go and test, get a code, replace it, because if I would have replaced the O2 sensors, it would have came back with a lean code again, and then I would have replaced the fuel pump, and it would have came back with a lean code again, and then I would have had it overnight, and then checked the intake or checked for vacuum leaks, and I would have found it. So your customer or a customer would have said, well, what about all that other stuff I replaced? So this way, to save yourself some time, especially if you're doing it on your own, you might want to make sure you check everything. Sometimes it's better to make sure that there's no other problems than it is to just keep replacing parts, because right now I can exactly say that the intake manifold is leaking. I can say that the fuel pump has low fuel pressure and it's dropping off more than 21 psi on shutoff. So I know that those two things are bad. I know by testing that there's not an open in the heater circuits on the O2s, but they're moving very slow. I mean, to the point where once they get high, they don't move no more. That's my phone. So, and I can't pause it, so I'll just have to let that go. I'm going to try and bring the camera over here so I can show you where it's leaking at, but it might be really difficult because of the position in which it's at. It's actually, there it is. It's so hard for me to see, and I'm here. Yeah, I had to let this car sit overnight, and I came in this morning time, and it's been on there smoking ever since. So I'm going to bring the camera down, and I'm going to try to see if we can see it. Okay, so if you kind of let this adjust, make sure I can smoke, yep, and we're on, yes. Like we can see right now, I actually have this hooked right to the PVC, which goes, where's my hand? Okay, this is a PVC tube that comes down, goes right into the intake. I have it disconnected at the air tube, and I have a glove over top of it and push back on. I removed the vent from here so that I can block off the valve cover so that we can keep as much pressure inside the system at all. And like you can see, it is moving. it should kind of level out. But anyway, that being said, let's go down here and see if we can see the little stream of smoke coming out of there. And we might not be able to with this camera. Let me see. I mean, I can see it, but I don't know if the camera can pick it up. This is the problem for the customer. So. Well, I'm not gonna be able to show it, but it is there, and it's just really difficult to see. Yeah. Okay, well that being done, I put this back up here so I can stop it, do my little spiel. All right, so thank you for watching Parker Automotive. God bless you and God bless America. Just some tips.